Welcome to the LawyerFair.co.uk daily podcast. LawyerFair helps businesses find the right lawyer at the fairest price. But on this podcast, we just chew the fat with some great guests.
It is indeed the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. There's the intro from Penny, and my name is Andrew Weaver. I'm the CEO of LawyerFair.co.uk. I was in my local Waitrose the other day here in West Ealing, and I spotted the product from or founded by my next guest, who is Tamara Arbib. Welcome, Tamara.
Thank you so much for having me.
Not at all. Thank you for joining us. Now, Tamara is the founder and CEO of Rebel Kitchen. It was indeed Rebel Kitchen that I saw on the shelves of Waitrose. So imagine my excitement when I saw that and knew that I was talking to Tamara this morning. You were just talking before the broadcast, and we'll go into greater detail about Rebel Kitchen and where it came from. But you've only been going 18 months?
Yeah, we had product on shelf on January 2015, so okay. 18 months.
Fantastic. Well, absolutely brilliant. Well, I have to say, there was a spring in my step as I saw it on the shelves of Waitrose. So just give me a little bit of background about what Rebel Kitchen is, Tamara. And as you know, I've banned the word journey. It is used almost in every broadcast we've done so far. But tell us a little bit about how you've arrived where you are today.
Absolutely. So, where do I even begin? I mean, I've been passionate about food and nutrition for the last, I would say, my whole entire life, but really it came to the forefront over the last 16 years. And essentially through the 18 Foundation is really the beginnings of the story, if you will, which is to say that we really wanted to impact food and nutrition and sort of be a part of the conversation. And my husband and I decided to launch a charitable foundation called the 18 Foundation, which looked to promote nutrition, which is such a broad remit. And what we found when we started, which is to say that, charity is great, does fantastic things. We got involved in a lot of projects such as breastfeeding initiatives, down to pesticide use, down to food wastage, down to biodynamic farming. I mean, you name it, we played in that space. But what we realized is that as fantastic and as worthwhile charity is, it was far too slow moving and not as impactful as we had wished. Mm-hmm. And so we realized that to be a part of the conversation in a much more serious way, we needed to approach this quote unquote problem from a commercial enterprise side. And we realized that actually, if you think about it, who has, sort of the platforms and who has the ears of government and who has most clout in the food space, well, actually, it's the big FMCG companies, the likes of Coca-Cola, the likes of Nestle, the likes of Unilever, who have not only, the money to support their products and pushing their products to consumers, but also to change laws and things on government level. And so what we realized is actually to be a part of that conversation is a lot more impactful than anything that we could ever do on the charitable side. Mm-hmm. And so we decided, you know what, let's do it ourselves. Let's launch a brand.
So there you are. You've made this decision, and it is a fairly large leap to change direction in that way. So when you were thinking of the brand, had you always got the product that you're producing in Rebel Kitchen in mind, or did you go through a number of different ideas?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So a fantastic story, actually. We went to a design agency, and I went to them. I didn't even have a product. I said to them, I want to create a brand.
Right.
And they looked at me and they were like, well, that's very nice, little girl, but what product do you have that you'd like to sell?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not interested really in the product. I'm interested in creating a brand, a platform to give people, positive messaging and to support them in their health journey. Don't worry about the product. The product's going to be delicious. The product's going to taste incredible. It's going to be at the right price point. It's going to be healthy, all these things.
Don't worry about that. Whatever it is at that stage.
Whatever it is.
Yes.
Whatever it is. Trust in me that I'll provide the right thing.
Yeah.
If I'm interested in creating a brand. And they looked at me like I was from outer space.
I left the
meeting and I said...
But I guess, Tamara, you had the heritage of 18 Foundation. That's essentially what you were doing. You were just transforming it into a commercial environment with whatever Rebel Kitchen was going to become.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so what was interesting is that, they obviously didn't get what I was trying to do. So I moved on and I went to another branding agency and they totally got what I was saying. And,
right.
And so was the beginnings of Rebel Kitchen. But what was amazing was one of the trade fairs that we had done last year, the original agency came up to us and said, "Gosh, great branding! Who did your branding?"
Oh, wow.
I thought that was so funny.
Very good.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that the dream of the business is tremendous, and I think the speed and the success that we have gained in a very short space of time is testament to the fact that it's the right time, it's the right place, and people are receptive to the message.
No, absolutely.
Which is to say that, on an individual basis, we're really excited about getting people excited about health through positive messaging, because I think there's just so much negative scaremongering going out there, and I think it leaves the consumer confused as to actually what is healthy in the end, because there's just, one day you get told coconuts are great for you, the next day they're told too much saturated fat, and saturated fat good for you, and actually now it is good for you, and now sugar's the enemy, and all this kind of stuff. So I think at the end of the day, simpler messaging is what we really need to get round to, and what we in the FMCG space need to do is actually be ethical in the products that we bring out, because at the end of the day we have a responsibility to produce products that people are going to end up consuming, and we all know now what a big effect food has on our overall well-being. And so we're excited to be a brand that does that for people.
No, for sure. I mean, as we discussed offline again, I mean, I've got a young daughter, and it's incredible how I have started looking at ingredients in a way I never did before. And I think there's a whole revolution taking place, of which you're clearly going to be part of that. So how did you actually land on the product, Tamara? So you've gone to the branding agency; they've got what you wanted to do. It's obviously a transfer of thinking from the charity. But how did you end up with 100% dairy-free coconut milks?
Right. So the first thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to create a product that was all-inclusive. So the great thing about coconut milks is that they appeal to a dairy-free audience, to a gluten-free audience, to everybody who potentially has some kind of allergy. Well, they're welcome to the party.
Yeah.
And then with respect to the actual products that we'd like to create, I mean, the Rebel Kitchen milks are definitely only the first along a portfolio of things that we'll bring out eventually. But it's just all stuff that we consume at home. We're really passionate about food and nutrition, and we're excited to show people how delicious and how easy it is to eat healthily, because I think what we really need to do in order to help people in their overall health journey is just to realize that you don't have to compromise in taste in order to be healthy. Once upon a time, healthy was almost a negative connotation. Somebody said, "Ooh, that tastes a bit healthy." Mm-hmm. You're sort of almost expecting it to taste like cardboard, but it's good for you, and therefore you'll do it. Well, we don't have to do that. And I think at the end of the day, if we want to change our food habits, because diets don't work and people fall off the wagon all the time with those kind of things. If we want to really monumentally shift people's attitude towards eating better, it needs to be in a format which they're going to want to do all the time, which is to say, make it yummy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And so the coconut milk is the first step. I mean, are you in a position to kind of illuminate where it might be going? What are the other food areas that you're thinking of?
I'm not in a position to tell you. You'll have to wait till it comes out. But okay. I mean, it's all about snacks. What we're here to do is we're here to make the snacks that you eat and love already, but make them better for you. And so, all those things. But we're also about helping people to realize that, as much as they can in the lives that they have, and obviously, there's a wide spectrum here, but cook from fresh, feel the ingredients, teach your children if you've got kids, get back into the kitchen, get connected to food again. And so for us, it's about playing sort of in the snack space, because we'd really love you to sort of, where as much as possible, eat your main meals, cooked from scratch, or at least semi-cooked from scratch. Whatever you can do, do it.
No, I like it. And I mean, I'm astonished. I mean, the speed with which you've managed to get into some serious supermarkets. I mean, there must have been some pain on the way. It hasn't been all a completely smooth ride, I guess. Is there anything that you look back and think, well, we could have done without that, or we should have not done this? I mean, are there any kind of learning curves that are obvious to you?
I mean, this is. I know that you said that a lot of people are interested in sort of the entrepreneurial journey, although we don't want to call it a journey. But I think actually a tremendous shift that I've had, I would say, in the last few months, is to say that I actually don't, when people say, oh, what were the problems, or what were the downfalls, what were the pitfalls, I actually don't view any of it as a pitfall, and it really is just obstacles to overcome. Mm-hmm. And I think when you have a passion and a mission and a vision for something that you want to do, and it's so clearly what excites you and what gets you up in the morning and what sort of it gives you purpose to your life,
Yep.
then all the problems that you have along the way, they're not really problems, they're just obstacles to overcome. And, you know, with the right sort of mindset and the right team around you and the right everything, then you shift and alter your path accordingly in order to get to that end goal.
Well,
And we're doing that every day.
I think that's a great way of describing it. We've had a few guests on recently. There was a book launch I went to. It was a book called Mission, and it was all about how the future businesses that are going to be successful are based around an ethos and a mission and a purpose. And I think if you've got that, it doesn't half make it easier to get around those obstacles.
Absolutely.
As you've clearly found. Tamara, listen, that's brilliant. So it's Rebel Kitchen. It is available certainly in Waitroses. Did I see that it's also available in Tesco's?
Yes, we're available in Tesco's and Ocado and various independents around the country.
Any
Look
decent,
out for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Any decent grocery store is going to be hosting a bit of Rebel Kitchen.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you'd hope so.
Thanks so much for joining us, and very good luck on whatever
My
we
pleasure.
call it, but whatever the next steps are for Rebel Kitchen. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
Not at all. Thanks, Tamara. That was the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. We'll be with you again tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the LawyerFair.co.uk daily podcast. If you'd like to listen to more, why not subscribe and download each episode via iTunes or visit us on the LawyerFair.co.uk website.